All right, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art. I just went and made a fresh pot and art in the morning. We already showed some happy mail from Miss Vicky B this morning. I want to talk about a couple other things, and I'm probably going to work a little bit on a drawing for a while. We'll see how much time we have. Oh, let me announce, if you did not know, I saw on Twitter, I haven't really perused the awesomeness that is Barb Owen, but Barb and Lindsay, what's her full name? The the crafter, the is it the frugal crafter? What's her YouTube name? Somebody help me out here. Anyway, Lindsay and Barb are going to be on Barb's show today. So if y'all don't know, get creative with, or just look up Barb Owen and you'll find her. So she is going to do she's been doing interviews with different ones throughout the weeks or whatever. Kind of like I draw people for a shout out. Barb interviews them. I'm frugal crafter. Yeah. Um, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I want to. Barb says she wants to have me on her show, but I want to turn it around on her. I want to interview Barb. I want to interview her. Shh. Let's keep that on the DL. Yeah. But anyway, the frugal crafter Lindsay and Barb are going to be on Barb's show today at 2 on Barb's show. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll show you what I've done and what I'm working on. First off, I told y'all I'm working on some commission. I'm working on 4, and I did get permission. I asked the grandfather this morning if it would be okay if I worked. I'm about I guess about halfway done. It depends on how long I take on the skin. I'm about halfway done with the one of the grandchildren. There's 4 of them, and I have another one done. One halfway done, one to still sketch, and this one is about halfway done. So I've been working on all 4 of them. And I asked him if I could show. Yes, I got commission permission. Okay, Terry. That's got to go in the. I like that. I got commission permission. I like that one. Terry Trouble. We not. Commission permission. It's getting so full. I still have my rabbit trail book too, where I put all the longer things going on, like the Limerick Day. All the limericks are in the rabbit trail book. You finish your wedding count. Oh, good, Jean. Jean's works like I don't even know how many hours. Jean, how many hours do you put into that wedding book you're giving your? I think it's your cousin, your nephew, or your cousin. Jean has worked tirelessly on a wedding gift. So, well, anyway, so I got commission permission to finish working on one of his grandchildren. And for some reason, he picked at least 3 of them. I don't know about the 4th one because I haven't drawn that one yet. They all have, it's during the time period when they have missing teeth. It's like during, their missing teeth stage. So I am about halfway done with him. And so he said I could work on him today. I will be zooming in, refocusing the camera, and working a little bit on him today. I don't know how far we'll get, but yeah, Eileen just said if anyone wants to learn how to do cameo words, watch Jean's stream. It's about 6 hours long. I don't know, did she record all of that, Eileen? I don't know if she recorded all of that. Thank you, Pam. Pam said she loves my portraits. So anyway, this is the one I'm working on now. And I'm not going to say names or any of that, but I just wanted you to know that this is what we're going to be working on in a minute. I'm going to refocus. The other thing I wanted to show you is remember I showed, I don't even know, it was last week or Monday, where I've been using my art card, mixed media art cards, the ones that I give away, like this. Okay, and y'all see me make them here on show. That I've been using these, and I always photograph them all, before I mail them out as giveaways. So I still have them, in a sense. I still have them all because I have the photographs of them. So I can still work off of any of the ones I've sent out. Terry. So, for instance, here's one, and this is one of the larger. This is an 8 by 10 one that I did. So here's an 8 by 10. Um, I don't want to lose that little paper clip right there from Miss Vicky. Whoops, I'm trying to stack things up and they're falling. A craft-a-lanch. So thanks, Peggy Sue. So, like, they're 3 by 4. They're larger than an ATC, the standard artist trading card size, which is 2.5 by 3.5. I make mine 3 by 4. Here's an 8 by 10 that I use this as an inspiration to do this painting. There's no collage, no mixed media. It's all acrylic paint. Well, and I guess you can say that even the Posca paint pen is acrylic paint. The Posca paint pen, which I bought some more from Oh, I forgot to show y'all my jet pen order. Yeah, I ordered a jet pen. I had a small jet pen order. And so anyway, I bought 3 more Poscas. Because I love these because they are acrylic. Jean has all the set, both fine and regular tip nib and fine point. These are the fine point. And I think this was the old one. Anyway, so it is acrylic paint. So I say that these are all acrylic paint. But because other than the Posca paint pen, it's all just acrylic paint. And they're all varnished. You can see the shine there. I varnish them. So I thought that this was, I used to do larger type of paintings based on my mixed media collages and on big canvas boards. And I've shown those before. I don't have the comparison right now. I'll have to pull those back out. But it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've taken the time to use my art, my mixed media collage, either in an art journal or on a page or on a card, in a painting. Now, I'm not doing the new ones on canvas board. I'm just doing them on matte board. Okay, this one just happens to be on a heavy cardstock, but the other one, because it's an 8 by 10. But the other ones that I'm going to show you, I showed you this one last week. This was my inspiration card. Thank you. Love my worlds. Thank you. The 5-point set. You have the. Oh, okay. You bought them because of Jean, Suzanne. And then this is on the matte board. Okay, the matte board I've shown y'all. Where's my stack of it? Where did I put it? Where did I put my stack? Oh, matte board. Okay, I have a stack of matte board here somewhere. I showed it last week that you can get the matte board like at Hobby Lobby. They sell it in stacks for real cheap of cast-offs. I guess it's from the inside of their framing and things like that. And you can't see what's on either side. I paint the backs black regardless of the color of the matte board and use the white side because the reverse side of the matte board is just white. So that's what I use to paint on. And then whatever color the matte board is, I just paint over the back black. So this one, I went with more of the teal color. So you can see teal and a slate gray blue. In this one, I just wanted to keep it almost all the teal colors. Sorry guys, it's a little flashing out. Hang on, let me try to bring down the lighting just a little bit. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. I'm so pale. Anyway, I need to get some sun. I got to get some sun this year. This year. Just I pick a year to get some sun. Anyway, so this mixed media collage, which it's really this is a collage bit, that's a collage bit, it's all paint, right? But the paintings are all paint. This is all paint. And these, no, I don't do anything, Trina, to the matte board. I just paint right on it, but I varnish everything, so it's all nice and see the varnish on there. They're all varnished. So Yes, thank you. Yeah, I've done lightning on a couple of the ones I'm going to show you. And I do plan on selling these, but I want to get a bunch of them up first, made up. And what I do is, I just do these in between my, commission work. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've got done. So just so if y'all will probably recognize some of the art cards that I've, again, I have photographs of all my art cards so I can use them for inspiration. And I mix it up. Like the art card does not have this white mountain and, it's just different. But you can still see. There's this one. I'm going to just show you the ones I've got done. This one. And they're all varnished. As you can see. Yes, I'm going to sell these, Carrie, when I get a bunch of them made up. I don't know yet. I'll probably just tell y'all here if anybody wants to buy one. I don't really want to open up at my Etsy shop back up. I had the Etsy shop years ago. It's still there, but it's not open. Where I was selling collage bits. I sold packages of collage bits and some little mini cards years ago. Once I started streaming, I didn't have time for that, so I don't do that anymore. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm just making them. This one you can see got a little detail right there. Oh, thanks, guys. Y'all love them all. Yeah. And then the last one is this one. And again, I've added lightning into this one. I signed some in black, some in white. Gives a little contrast there. My art cards I only sign on the back, but I figured I'd sign these on the front. Yes, I used to sell collage fodder. Yeah. Yeah, you're waiting for the I'm not gonna sell any color book anything. Or you're just talking about the color book swap, Suzanne? I'm not sure. I don't sell anything from the color books. Yeah, so these are all that's just all acrylic paint. It's all my own painting. So there's that one. Thanks, guys. Hey, Muse. Hi and bye, Muse. Thanks for stopping in. So that's all I've got done so far. I want to get quite a few of them. Maybe, yeah, it seemed I sold every time I did collage packs, Carrie, on Etsy. Now, I got to be honest with you guys, I have not been over to Etsy in years, not even to shop. I just don't have the time. But collage packs, when I sold mine, they sold great. But here's the thing about collage packs. Before anybody's jumping in on wanting to sell collage packs, let me give you some advice. Thanks, guys, on the cards. But I will not. I'm not going to put them. Oh, the cards would be great as a color book page. I see. I see. Well, I when I do these, they're pretty much I paint them right. I don't even draw them. I paint them. I just go straight into paint. Here's what I usually do. I wish I could find my stack. I have a stack of. Let me just use my scrap thing. This is what I do with my collage cards. I mean my those little paintings. Here's the card, right? So I'll go in there with just imagine this is paint, my acrylic paint. I'll go in there and like here's a landscape, here's a sky, here's a planet. That's all the sketching I do. Everything else that's it. Then I go straight in with paint. I just do a quick little composition of how I want the piece to look, and then I go straight in with paint. There's not any really line work. There's no line work at all. This is it. This is what I start with. Then I go right into paint. So there's not really a thing for me to make it into a color book page. That would be a whole nother process to making color book pages out of these. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't really grayscale. Yeah, they're so dark. My paintings are so dark. You know what I mean, Vern? See, dark in the sense of color tones. You know, they're dark. At least this batch is. So anyway, that's how I do those. Now back on the collage bits, I saw a couple people saying, talking about doing collage packs. Here's the thing about doing the collage packs that made me quit doing it. I have tons, and also I started streaming, so I didn't have time to do it. The collage, unless you just tell people it's just random collage bits, they may or may not buy them. I photographed, I laid out every single, I did mine by color theme. They still may be back in my old Etsy shop. I don't know. They're all sold, of course. They're all sold. Don't go over there looking for any people. Don't go over there looking in my Etsy shop for anything. It's closed down. So what I did is my collage packs were based on color. So I'd have a green pack, I'd have a yellow pack, I'd have a blue pack, I'd have red, purple, orange, whatever. And I had collage packs based on color. So I would just gather, pack or die that'd be her, like, that would be awesome. Pack or die does everything by color. She would probably knock out some collage packs over on Etsy. But anyway, but I would let on a board, a black board, probably, foam board, a large foam board, probably 2 feet by, I don't know, 36 by, a large foam board is where I'd photograph everything. I would literally lay out every single bit of collage fodder, everything. So the person that bought it could see literally every single little tiny piece of red something that was in my collage pack. So what took the part, the even the shipping, the packaging, and all that did not take as long as the photographing. That's what took me so long in my Etsy collage fodder packs because I photographed every bit. Now, and I'm sure there are people that just sell random collage packs. But for me, I want to see what's in it. So that's why I photographed what was in mine, because that would be what I would want to see, right? So whenever you sell something, make something, draw something, paint something, invent something, do your idea generating big notebooks of things, think about what you would like to see. If you were going to buy a collage fodder pack, would you like to see everything in it? Or maybe you're one of those people, oh, surprise me. So it's totally, yeah, on Etsy you can buy, I mean, you can buy anything on Etsy, Prisma. I'm not selling them. Don't get it confused with me selling them now. I'm not selling them any longer. This was years before I started streaming, or right along the cusp of the two. So yeah, thanks, Terry Trouble. Okay, so I'm going to work a little bit on him. I'm going to refocus my camera. And I thought I would work on him for, maybe an hour or so. And I'm really don't plan on completely finishing him. But because it's something I need to get done, I thought I'd work on him for a little while. So Jean can nap. Terry sold them in person, where they can open the bag and look inside. Yeah. Well, on Etsy, you have to have good photographs. And I gotta say, guys, if you are going to plan on doing any kind of opening a store on Etsy, it's a job. If you want to really make it work, if you want to make selling something on Etsy work, you have to work at it. You got to photograph well. There's all kinds of identifiers, and you want to hashtag everything, because you're going to get lost in the shuffle if you don't. The only people that are going to know you have an Etsy shop are the 100 people in our chat or whatever, right? They're not going to find you if you just throw something up there and hope for the best. It's like anything else that you want, social media or selling or anything online. You've got to work at it. Okay, there's my teacher voice. Where's Jean? All right, let me go to my pictures and find my photograph that I'm working from. I work off photographs in my iPad. So this is the picture I'm working off of. Now let me refocus my camera and zoom in a little. The autofocus, let me get my card here. This is my best autofocuser. Okay. Now let's see how dark or light it is. It might need to be dark and just, I don't know. I don't want to get it too dark, but I don't want it to be flashed out either. I think that's good right there. And I'm kind of close up. Okay. All right, so that's what we're going to do for a little while. And then maybe we'll let me bring all my pencils. Oh, I forgot to show you all my jet pen order. I got Posca pens. Well, okay. I got some lead. Bought some lead, and then I bought this double-edged pencil. It has red lead and blue lead, so I just got it for a sketching pencil. And this is cream color. It's hard to tell, but that's a cream color. And Miss Rose asked me on Twitter, is that vintage? Because I think they made it to look vintage. So if you want to look for this, it's on jet pens. Under pencils, of course, but it's a red pencil and a blue pencil. But it looks vintage, doesn't it? That's why I liked it too. And that's why Miss Rose liked it, because it looks vintage. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back onto my drawing here. I've probably got I've got at least 2 hours into this, maybe more, because I'm not sitting down and working on it solid, right? I have one of his sisters done, the other sister partially done, and the third sister not even drawn yet. So a little behind, but he says he's not in any big hurry. But so I'm doing his 4 grandchildren. I'm not going to say any names, but so yeah, we'll work on it. Hopefully we're focused in enough. Does it look focused to you guys? Do I need to work on the focus? Do I need to work on the focus? I'll let you guys decide. And I know there's a lag in chat, so let me take a sip of coffee. I'll grab my pencils here while chat catches up. Hey Barb, anybody else popping in? Thanks, Lindsay. It looks clear. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and work on it. Okay. All right, so let's see. Let me get out I got pens and watercolor pencils and all kinds of things in here that I don't need or use. But I want to keep all my pencils. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the Happy Mail and the other things that we showed today. I'm just going to get my hand full of pencils here that I'm going to use mostly. A little blue. All right. So his eyes are very, very dark. And I do need which color of peach that is. It's hard to see the names. I try to read the names to you, but sometimes when they're in gold on light color, I can't hardly see them. Yeah, isn't he cute? All right, so let's see here. I want some terracotta. I'm looking for my dark peach, but I'm not seeing it here. I don't know if it rolled away. He's got a little pink in his cheeks. I got that. What else? I'm looking for my dark peach that seems to have been missing. I got pencils rolling everywhere. That goes with that. This comes over here. Let me move that off the table. Let's move this off the table. All the stacks until after the show. Peach. It's my dark peach. That's pink. Blush pink. I don't want pink. I want peach. One of my pencils, I'll have to get into my rubber banded, because it's probably just rolled off the table or something. This, there we go. That's a little darker. It's not the one I want though. Nope. All right, let me dig out my peach bundles. I have to get into the bundles. Pinks. You know what? I'm going to bust into my vintage barrels, because I know there's one in there. All right. There we go. Anything else? I think that's it. We never have any problem with the barrels. This is the Sanford, or yeah. So it's a Sanford. The Sanford ones are not as old as the what do you call it? Barrel, but they're still. It's so funny because you can actually feel the weight. I can anyway, because I handle them so much. I can feel the weight difference in the new Prismacolor Premier versus the Sanfords or the barrels. Let me pick up a barrel one just to kind of. That's a Sanford. I just want a barrel just to feel the weight. Let me see here. Because I mixed them together because I did them by color. Where's a barrel? There's a Sanford. It's a Sanford. I know I have them in here. I thought I have all my Sanfords and barrels together. I wanted to feel the weight difference. Oh well, I'm not going to spend the time digging right now because we won't get anything done. But I can feel the difference in the weight. It's the wood. It's the wood. They changed wood, I think, when they moved to Mexico. Okay. So anyway. All right, if y'all got any questions, put them in caps. Hey, Kathy. Anybody else, put it in caps if you want to talk, because otherwise I will. I don't know, guys. That's bothering me that it's not focused to me. I don't know. Let's refocus. Let's refocus. Where's my? It just doesn't look as focused as it should be. Maybe I need to brighten it and then focus. Okay, let's see here. There we go. It's a little better. All right, so I'm just going to work and chat with you guys. Hopefully you'll be able to see some. If y'all watch me do Angie Bell. What day is today? I don't even know what day. What day did I do? Was that Monday? So yeah, we got the grandkids at the age when they have their missing teeth. He has seen the other one. He hasn't seen this one yet. I told him it would be on YouTube today. I'm sure he's not going to be here, but he might go check out. I mean, peruse the awesomeness that is his grandson on YouTube later. So yeah, just going to work a little bit on him today. If you have any questions, just ask or want to chat about anything, feel free. I think I'm going to hold them in my hand. It's a little easier when I hold them. Do you have any weekend plans? It's Hubster's birthday weekend. He only gets a weekend. The rest of, we all get weeks, right? Hubsters get weekends. Uh, no, this is not. No. That's a different one, Carrie. I haven't even done. Well, I did sketch it out, Carrie, but that's as far as I got on that commission. Carrie was asking me about commissions I got at jury duty, and that was a baby, and I have it. I told him it would be at least a month before that one. And then I've got a couple commissions of pets from Facebook, and those are 2 months out. So yeah, I don't. I tell people don't. I'm not going to hurry. If you need something like now, Christmas is when it gets like everybody wants one at Christmas, right? Yeah, Carrie. Everybody wants me to do portraits at Christmas, and then they wait till like November, like on Thanksgiving weekend or something, when they're starting to think about Christmas and they want portraits. No way. No way. I mean, it would have to be, a real special something. Like I've done memorial, um, grandmother's dying and or dead, passed on, I should say. I want to be gentle about it. I've done things like that, but just your, average commission portrait, I cannot squeeze in. I cannot squeeze in portraits between Thanksgiving and you get it by Christmas. So, yeah, no, this is the picture he picked, and um, at least three of the grandchildren he picked don't have their. It's that they're. This is the stage he wanted them at, I guess. It's the ones that the pictures he picked. I think they're so cute. Okay, for some reason, guys, maybe I need to darken it again. I don't want it to flash out, but I don't want it to be like you can't even see any color. There's no color showing up. And no, isn't he adorable? Isn't he adorable? I'm not sure how old he is, but he's adorable. So I'm going to work on it for about an hour, and then we'll see about working in the fairy napkin journal. That was my plan after the happy mail that we showed earlier. So I'm just going to get, I've already worked a few hours on him. And again, I did get permission from the grandfather to, I'm not saying names or anything, but he gave me permission to work on it. I usually don't even ask about working. A few people don't mind, have said, go ahead and work on it on the show because they like to see me work on stuff. But most people, I just like to think of that. I want them to be the first ones to see it finished. And some people, it's fine. They want to see the process. So I thought, at least he might like to see at least one of them, just the process a little bit from one of the four. So, and I hope it's showing up, guys. I mean, are you able to see any of the blending at all? Because it is light. And, let me know. I'm happy to adjust. Happy to adjust the lighting as best as we can. Depends on the time of day, how much sun's out. I keep my same 6 lights on. But when something's very light like this, it's, it's picking up the light. You can see it. Thank you. Thanks, Renee. So did I miss anybody talking about their weekend plans? It's Hubster's birthday weekend. So if we get family to maybe run down to the lake or something, depending on the weather, of course. Something like that. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I know Jean worked furiously for hours on her wedding album. Yeah, you got to go to the wedding this weekend, right, Jean? You finished that baby just in time. Jean worked on a wedding album for photographs for one of her relatives' wedding. And oh man, that thing is, that's a lot of work in that thing. So what I've done in his hair, I'd already done this before I hit record. That's a brown acrylic paint, and then pencil on top with shades of blue, white, and I'm going to add more black and brown in here too. Well, I have added some black and brown in his bangs, pencil wise, pencil on top of that. And I do need to kind of get a little white area here is highlighted right along the edge there, but I want to kind of tone that down a little, make it, because the highlight was making the head look, his hair look a little out of shape. Yeah, it's Father's Day too, yeah. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to go get some hot coffee. I have to get some hot coffee. I would have bet that Jean would be gluing letters down the helmet during the ceremony. Oh my gosh. Eileen said she'd bet that Jean would be gluing letters down like the wedding album thing during the ceremony. Eileen. All right, let me just set those down for 1 second, guys, and go get some hot coffee. Good one, Eileen. Okay, hot coffee to the rescue. So, all right. So these are the ones I'm working with now, but I've got all my other handy colors here. I have a whole tray full of colors that I use a lot on portraits, but these are the ones that I already had picked out for him. So, do you always use paint on your? No. Yeah. So I just saw it scroll right off, so I didn't even see who asked me. Clothing and hair, I base coat. I'll put a solid color of paint on. No, other than highlights in the eyes with like a Posca pen or acrylic paint. This is all pencil. No paint on the face. No paint on the face. Yeah, just in the hair as a base coat, and in the clothing as a base coat. And then this is all pencil on top. I'm not even done. I'm not done with it. He's wearing a white T-shirt. Um, so the acrylic paint is only in clothing and hair, and in highlights in the eye, because I want to keep that white in the eye, right? And I have corrected a tooth or two with white Posca or white acrylic paint, but everything else it's all pencil. I forgot. I get asked that a lot. Thanks for re-asking. Okay, so let me do a little more. Yes, that's the color I want. So I want. I'm not sure which color I really want for this. Maybe this. Is that my terracotta? Yeah, terracotta. Yeah, thanks, Pam. I get asked that a lot, and I try to clear that up too. Cause it's very dark brown eyes. Are you doing iCAD, Renee? Yeah, it seems like I agree. I think the index cards used to be thicker. You could always glue two together, but they did used to be thicker, I think. The index cards. And his eyelashes come down. I don't want to put his eyelashes in. And y'all didn't get to see me put in the eyelashes on Angie Bell because I had not finished the eyes at the point where we left the stream. So, I mean, the picture, I posted the picture so you could see them there. But I don't want to put too many eyelashes until I get enough of his eyes done. They used to be Bristol weight, now they're not even. Yeah, I know, Jean, right? I guess I figured nobody's going to notice because it's been so long. It's just kind of they fade in the cheap stuff. I don't know. Hi, Marita. I have an old box of. I got to sharpen my white. I have an old box of them somewhere. Like I got a yard sale or something from years ago. I should pull those out and really do a comparison. Yeah, the iCAD is index card a day. For those that might not know or be wondering, what are y'all talking about iCADs? It's where you do a piece of art. It's kind of like doing an ATC, an artist trading card, but on an index card. And you have a little bit more real estate to work with on a index card than you do on a ATC art card. Yeah, index paper a day. I know, Terry. That's so true, right? That's so true. Sharpen. You want to put an envelope in the back of the. Oh, Jean. Yeah, I think Eileen's right, Jean. You're going to be working on that book during the ceremony. During the ceremony, Jean. You're going to be working on that. You're going to be working on that book. Okay, let's put a few little hairs. He has light eyebrows, but you can see a few little hairs there. That's the end? Okay, Jean, if you say so. I keep getting these two confused. Let me set this one down. There we go. So I'm just going to work on this for a little bit. The plan was my Happy Mail, which that was from Miss Vicky B. That's a separate show, separate recording. Then I wanted to show those cards that I, used for inspiration to make those little small paintings, and they're 5x7. Then I wanted to work on this for about an hour, and then kind of just at least start one of the fairy napkin journal pages. And that'll be it for me on Friday. Hubster said he was going to try to, well, I can see about getting off today, but there's no really reason because we're not doing anything till like tomorrow for his birthday. So it's like, yeah, meh, meh. So I'm just going to work in the studio today. I'm okay. Yeah, don't click on Vicky BR. That's a different Vicky. We have our Vicky BR, and I call her Vicky. Then we have Miss Vicky B, and then we have a newer Vicky in here, Vicky S. So we have three Vickies. So we kind of try to distinguish the different ones. I hope y'all can see that I'm doing something here. Yeah, it is, Carol, Renee. Yeah, it is. But we'll have a birthday weekend. And I'm using very light layers. I know it's hard. That's one of the things about doing, you know, especially pencil work. You can't see the pressure, the light pressure that I'm putting. You can't see the light pressure that I'm putting on. That's one of the things about pencil drawings that's hard to, you know, show. But I'm using such light pressure, guys. Lots of layers, lots of light pressure. And it just takes time. If you can't be a color pencil artist, portrait artist, and be impatient. It just, you just can't. You got to, it takes time to do all the layers. Thanks for stopping in, Donna. What I do, people have asked, and I know she's being a smart Alec. Prisma's asked me, does she do portraits of feet? I get people asking me to do all kinds of portraits. To tell you the truth, I've not had anybody ask me to draw their feet. Um, but this is the kind of commission work I do. Faces. One face per 9 by 12 sheet. That's what I do. I don't do full on, like, I don't do families. I don't do little things from little pictures. I draw what I see, right? I'm drawing what I see. To have a realistic portrait, you can't just make it up. You can't just put blue eyes on, and just make the face any shape you want. A portrait is supposed to look like the person. And when you do a realistic portrait, even more so. Um, so I draw what I see. So if that's why I always request, if you do not have a good picture, whether it's a pet or a person, old person, young person, I'll draw anybody. But it's going to be one face per paper, and I have to have a good photograph, right? um, but I do get people asking me, they'll give me full bodies. They want the whole body of the person. I don't do those. It's not that I can't, I don't. I only do face portraits. If, that's what I enjoy, that's what I like to do. And if you're paying me to do it, I want to do it well and I want it to look like the person. And so yeah, I don't do any other kind. That's the only kind I do. Paid work, that is. Thanks, Pam. So, just saying. So just know that if you want a commission from me, um, just know right off that that's like one of the requirements, that it has to be a good picture, because I can't just make it up. I can't just, somebody will give me a picture that's real tiny and you can't even see the person and they want a portrait like this from a picture like that. And you can't even blow that up. I mean, it's going to just pixelate, right? So it's just saying, you got to have good pictures if you want a realistic portrait. Hey, Packer Die. Yeah, Packer Die rocks the iCads. We were talking about you just a minute ago, Packer Die. We always seem to be talking about Packer Die. All right, let's go. So now I've already, got a couple of layers of color. I want to put a little bit more shadow. Then I'll put another layer of, peaches, different colors of peaches, to blend it all out. If y'all watched me do Angie Bell, her drawing, you see how you just got to keep blending, blending, blending. Yeah, she's been posting a lot of them. You can put your link in there, Packer Die. She's mostly on Instagram, is where Packer Die mostly hangs out. It's got the biggest brown eyes, I'll tell you. Yeah, iCAD is index card a day. I think it's like they do it for a month. Is it every June? You have to ask Packer Die on the particulars of it because I don't do it. But I watch the ones that do. I think they look awesome, like Packer Dyes. Personally, I've not seen anybody do them as well as Packer Dye, but that's just me. I like her collagey stuff, so she's just my favorite iCAD art person because of the collage, you know, being a collagey person. Yeah, isn't he cute? He is cute. He is very cute. And he's got some little rosy cheeks. So I want to try to, I already put some pink in there. I'll probably put a little bit more. Things carry out. Daisy, was it Daisy Yellow Art is the one that does iCAD or started it or the blog. Okay, I need a little bit of more peachy color up in here. A little bit lighter. Start blending. Let me sharpen again. You want to pinch his cheeks. I know he's cute, isn't he? All four of them are adorable. All four of the grands that he has me doing. And another thing on drawing anything that you want to draw realistic, whether it's and I don't even mean necessarily realistic, but let's say accurately. If you want to draw something accurately, you have to look at, I have my iPad right here in front of me, and I'm probably looking more at my iPad reference than I am at the photograph, at my drawing. You have to constantly be looking at your reference or it's going to go off. It's going to go wrong. And the other thing I showed you a tip that I talked about when we drew Angie Bell is what you turn it upside down and you'll be able to see. Now you want to do that at a few stages. You want to do it at the drawing stage. You want to turn it upside down, make sure you got it all accurate, and you want to do it, a couple of times during the drawing process too, to make sure everything's accurate because you'll be able to spot anything. I remember the first time I told Cam, my grandson who draws, the first time I told him that, he said, something's not right on this drawing. I can't figure out what's wrong with it. I said, turn it upside down and turn the reference upside down and turn your drawing upside down. Look at them. And he said, oh my gosh, I spotted it immediately. That's what he told me. He saw it immediately, what was wrong with it. It will just become very obvious if you turn your work upside down what the problem is, and you can correct it. Okay, so now I'm going to add some eyelashes in there. I won't do the bottom ones yet because I got a little bit more blending to do down there. How is the paper you are using? No, it's pretty smooth. Let me show you the cover. It's the Strathmore Tone Tan paper. This is the paper I use for all my portraits. I usually don't tear them out. And for some reason, I tore this one and Angie Bell's out. I don't like it because they shift, and if they're in the book while I'm, working, it's easier not to have them shift around, or you can just I could clip it, I guess, but uh, it's smooth. It's very there's really no texture to it at all. There's really no texture to it at all. Yeah, you can look in a mirror, take it and look in the mirror. It's just I don't have a mirror here. It's just as easy just to turn it upside down. But it's the same principle. You'll when you don't look at it like it is, right how it is. You look at it upside down. Or where'd my brown pencil go? Oh, there it is. It gets you off of what you think it should look like, and you see it for really what it is when you turn it upside down or look at it in a mirror. Yeah, it'll work on anything you're drawing. It doesn't have to be this realistic. Anything you want that you're using a reference with, and you want it to look accurate, you just turn both of them upside down, and you'll see right off. Even in like I don't know if Vicky asked you're talking about. I don't know what girl, folk art girl or whatever your folky girl that you were drawing, but let's just say you were in a class where somebody gives you a pattern or something, and you're learning how to draw, and you take and they give you a sample, so and they want you to practice drawing it. I'm telling you, it would even behoove you to draw the whole thing upside down, start to finish, because you'll be surprised. Bye, Grammy. You'll be so surprised at how, even if you just practice that, just so you can see what'll happen. That's one of the I don't say tricks, but tips or techniques that's in drawing on the right side of the brain. One of the little lessons they teach you to do to try to draw it upside down. I mean, I realize that most of y'all watching the show are not, going to be doing realistic pencil portraits, right? But I figure, we can talk tips, we can talk, you know, all kinds of things to help you draw better or be creative or inspire you or whatever. That's why we do all kinds of things here. We do mixed media, we do collage, we do um, color booking, all of it. None of it's wasted. None of it's wasted. If you learn something, get inspired to pick up a pencil, get inspired to try something creative or artistic. None of it's wasted. Yes, animals are the same, Orla. Animals are the same. Has to be a good photograph, and I only do their faces. That's just, I mean, there's other people that'll probably draw your whole animal for you or whatever you want them to be doing, sitting, standing, walking, whatever. Just me, that's how I roll. That's just how I roll. All right, let me add a little bit more. Do some of the gums. It's too dark, I think. It needs to be a little lighter. Let's see what color. Maybe just a little bit of peach underneath. Do you use just pencils to blend? Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I know a lot of people use like Gamasol and blending pencils. And I have a couple of the blending pencils, but I just don't use them. I just use just pencils to blend. Not that there's anything wrong with it. If you use whatever you use to blend, I just use just pencil. I would recommend, highly recommend, if you decide to use any of the blending liquid stuff, uh, test that and practice that a lot on something you don't care if it gets messed up, because it can bleed through. It can affect the paper depending on what kind of paper you use, of course. I always tell you to, whether it's a color book or whatever, always test your papers before you go full on into a project. Because if you don't know what your paper is going to do with each kind of thing, whether it's mixed media, collage, matte medium, paints, whatever, you need to know what's going to happen to that paper. But no, I just use just pencil to blend. And I only use acrylic paint on the clothing and the hair, other than the highlight and the eye. But it's whatever works for you. Just because I do it this way doesn't mean you can't try other things. Or there's tons of videos out there doing it all different ways, right? So yeah, just practice all different things. See what you like, what works for you. Oh, I need a little bit of pink in his lips, just a little here and there. Hey, Carla. Anybody else popping in? Thanks for being here. Anybody else I missed? Yeah, it's a grandchild commission that I'm working on here. And I asked him if I could work on it today for a little bit on stream, and he said okay. This is one of four that I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of that pink in the cheeks, the little rosy cheeks. A little pink up on the forehead here, just a little. Do you recommend a basic art class for those? For portraits? you really, this is, just, and again, when I tell y'all this, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just telling y'all what works for me, what I've learned, and stuff like that. I've taken, a few classes here and there, but do I have a degree in art? No. I went back to college for journalism, although I did take art classes while I went back to college, and mostly for the live drawing practice, for the practice of live drawing. But I've drawn all my life. Um, if you've never picked up a pencil before and you go to a class and say, I want to do realistic portraits, you're probably not going to be able to do it. You have to learn how to draw everything. You have to know how to draw. You have to be able to draw what you see. You have to be able to, because you can't draw a realistic face if you can't look at something and draw what you see, no matter what it is. I'm not saying don't take a portrait class. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you've never drawn at all before, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna learn it in one class. You're not gonna sit down and a teacher's gonna teach you how to draw. I would recommend if you were a beginner, get drawing on the right side of the brain. I'll show you here. Let me show you. I show it all the time. Let me not mix my pencil colors here. Um, Hang on, let me find it on my shelf. Now my copy's old and from the 70s. There's new Betty Edwards or her publishers have republished this book. Let me turn my iPad off for a minute. Have republished this book and have a sketchbook that comes with it. If you have never drawn before, this is the book I would recommend. And like I said, mine's from the 70s. It's falling apart. It's rubber banded together. So I'll give you a couple of examples here of what, and I can show you take the pages out because the book's falling apart. All right. So for instance, now remember these are from the 70s. Not that that matters, but in September 1976, in September, this is how the person could draw a picture of a person. By November, that's how well they could draw. From that to that. By learning to draw what you see rather than what you think you see. People will look at a face and go, oh, that's what that face looks like. No. Here's another one. This was from April to May. From April, this is the way the person drew a face. By May, they could draw that. I'll show you a couple more. This one is from January to March. So January, February, about 2.5, 3 months. They went from this to this. Hey, Shar. In September, 2 months, they went these are all different people, right? These are different people. I'm showing you the samples in the book. They went from drawing like this to that. All right. August to September, they went from drawing like this to drawing like that. From February to a year later, okay, so this person took the whole course, and this is how they started. A year later, that's what they could do. Now remember, this is a year. So this is Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. And even if you do not espouse the theory of left brain, right brain thing, you don't have to believe that to do this course or to even practice some of it. This is, if I had to recommend one drawing book, this would be the one drawing book I would recommend. Now remember, I've been drawing for at least 50 years. Okay? So it's not like I just, started drawing a year ago and could draw this. And even I see things in here that could be improved on. I can see, oh, that's a little bit of a wrong shade of a color. I should have used, a little bit lighter peach and a couple of more layers. I mean, and you're always going to see things that are wrong in your own work. But what I'm trying to say is no matter what kind of class you go take, you're not going to be able to do this in one class if never having picked up a pencil, right? So I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I'm all here about inspiring people to try. But you don't have to be able to draw like this to have fun drawing, right? Or to draw to practice and love it. But here's my theory on getting good at drawing, and I'm going to keep working here while I do this because I wanted to stop on this in about 15 minutes and start on the fairy girl book. I believe that everybody's born with a love of something creative in them. They love something creative. And that can be anything. I mean, I'm talking from computer programming, music, or the mindset that makes you want to do things like computer programming, architecture, drawing, painting. I think everybody has a love of something creative. They may not find it right away. They may not have had the opportunity, the skills, or not the skills. They may not have had the opportunity or the wherewithal to be able to even explore things that they may be born with, right? But it's the love of something that will make you practice it. If you pick up, your Schroeder in Peanuts and you practice your piano thing, you're on your little kid's piano, and you find you love music, you love the piano, because you love it, you are going to practice it, stick with it, spend the money to take classes, spend hours and hours and years and years and years and years to practice to get good at it. But if you don't love it, like I like music, do I love music like enough to learn an instrument or how to read music and all that? No. So I'm not gonna have the wherewithal. I'm not gonna want to spend the time to learn it, right? So when you find something that you love and you think, oh man, I'd really like to be good at this or that, it's going to take a lot of work. So if you don't love it, you're not going to work at it. You're not going to stick with it, right? You're not going to stick with it if you don't love it. Like Cam, he loves art, so he's stuck with it ever since he's picked up a pencil. Boo, I tried to get her to learn, to pick up a pencil and pen. She never liked drawing. She likes crafts. She likes doing three-dimensional type things. She likes to make things that she can use. She wants to be able to use what she makes. I tell you, nobody knows YouTube better than Boo. She could tell you anything anywhere on YouTube. But she wants to make things that she can use or do something with, not just for the beauty of the making of it, right? Whereas Cam's always loved that. So I'm not going to force her to sit down and draw when she wants to sew or bead, right? Um, but she has discovered she likes sports. She likes anything athletic. I mean, give her something to run, jump, flip, hop, skip, and she's all over it. Cam, just to be I'm just giving you examples of my grandchildren here, if y'all don't know. Give him a book or a sketch pad, and you could lock him in a room for a month. Feed him, and he would draw and read, and absolutely nothing else, right? Although he loves engineering, so in school he's really liking engineering, so he's leaning in that direction. So Anyway, that's just how I think about, practice and stuff. Not that anybody can learn a skill set. I mean, I could probably learn to play scales on a piano. Or, if you don't like to draw, you could still pick up enough to draw something. I'm not saying that you have to be born with the love of it and practice it nonstop and just to draw a stick figure, right? I mean, you can learn a skill set, but to get really good at something, it's got to be you got to work at it. Are the Prismacolor pencils the only set you use? Um, yeah, I have some luminance from Eileen, a small set. It's not enough to do a portrait, but I love them. They're very, very expensive. I've just used Prismacolors for as long as they that I can remember. Back when they were Barrel, then they went to Sanford, and then they went to Premiere. I've just used Prismacolors. I'm used to them. I like the softness of them. I know there's a breakage issue with some sets, and I recommend anytime you want to. Well, this is a good example of one. Let me find another one. Anytime you buy them off the rack, one by one, make sure that the lead, and I know it's not lead, make sure the lead is centered. See how that's centered? Look at this one that I'm using. See how it's not centered? I mean, it's off, just not as off as some. Some are really off. This one's off just a little. I pretty much don't think I have any sitting here with them really bad because I usually replace them as soon as I can. I don't buy, I always check. And if I see somebody at the store looking at them, I saw a teenage girl last week looking at the Prismacolor pencils one by one, looking for colors. I said, I'll give you a tip. When you buy any of these Prismacolors, look and make sure the lead is centered. Otherwise, they're gonna break when you sharpen them. She goes, oh, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. Because I can guarantee you, if you buy one where the lead is not centered and you sharpen, it's going to break. And you sharpen, it break. And people go, oh, it's the sharpener you're using. No, it's not the sharpener. I have literally probably 50 pencil sharpeners, including the Prismacolor one. And it's all of them. So it's the lead or sometimes there's just a cheap wood set. Here, I'll show you an example. And I'm not going to be fussing on Prismacolor because I use them. I buy them and use them. I just personally like the softness of the lead and the blendability of it for portraits. When it's in my color book, I like the Luminance. I've used a few Pablos. I have the Derwent. I have other ones, and I'll use those in my color book. And I'll use these in my color book too. But what I'm saying is these are my favorite for portraits. But when you buy a pencil that it's like this, you can't tell me it's my pencil sharpener. This is not my pencil sharpener. You know what I mean, Vern? When you buy a pencil that this happens to, yeah. But I'm not going to be fussing on it, so. All righty, let's get back. Because I'm using them, right? I'm using these babies. But the quality has gone down since their original barrel. And I think it has a lot to do with the wood. The wood they used to use, and then they went to Sanford. Now they're Premier. I can't, swear to why the quality went down. But then again, there's been a lot of people complaining about breakage. And then I've heard people say, I think Janet was one that says she just bought her a new set and they were fine. So maybe they heard us. Maybe they heard us say that the quality's gone down and people are going to other brands. So I still use them. Don't email me unless you're Prismacolor and want to send me some. And I know they'll replace them. Somebody said, "Well, they'll tell you, send it back. Send it back. We'll replace it." Okay, this is $1, between $1.29 and $2, depending on where you get them and what. Okay, so for a $1.50 pencil, let's say, it's going to cost me $2 to ship it back. Really? You know what I mean? Oh, anyway. Now, if it was a heat gun like Jean, I'd want that baby replaced when it literally melts in your hands. So anyway, it's not really a rant because, I use them. I still use them all. I love my Prismacolors for the blendability and the softness of the lead. But, there's it's not the only brand of pencil out there. So, test them out. The best way to test out is if you actually go to an art supply store, go to an art, Blick or Jerry's Artarama or whatever's by you, you know, and see, ask them if they got some sharpen where you can test them. Different brands, I mean, if you want to test different brands. Collect all the crappy ones and oh. And so I'm more careful when I buy them. Like I said, always make sure the lead's centered for one, and of course if you buy a pack of them, you know, double check when you buy them. When you buy a whole box, they're not cheap. You buy a box, for $150 for a, full on set. You don't want any of them to be off lead, the lead to be off centered, right? Know what I mean, Vern? Yeah, so Marie just said she just got a set and she's had no problem. And again, I can't say when and why. Some sets are better, or some have no problems, and some have lots of problems. Who knows? I'm not there at the quality control center, right? Not at the quality control center. So again, in his hair here, let me. He's got the shine in his hair, and because of the acrylic paint base on the hair and the acrylic on the clothes, there's not any acrylic on the face except for the highlights and the eyes and maybe an occasional tooth. This is all color pencil, but I will base coat the hair and the shirt or the clothes with acrylic paint, and then you can go on top of it with pencil. That you can't do that with just it won't. You can't do that. Just trust me, you can't. Well, you don't have to trust me. You can try it. Try to do a full on hair, and then try to get white like that over top. That white right there is a pure white pencil. I'll show you real quick again because I know I have people ask. This is just, I've got paint on this one already, so I'll do a test here for you. And then we'll go ahead and stop and do the other project. Well, you know what? Real quick, guys, I did want to get a little bit more peach on his face. Let me go ahead and just do his forehead here. I wanted to get a quick layer of peach. And then I'll show you that little tip. And then we'll stop this recording because I wanted to work about an hour on this. And it's been about an hour and 15, 20 minutes. It says an hour and a half, but we haven't done just this. I did go get coffee. Yeah, I could, Juju. I know. Yeah. So, but I'm going to just blend in a little bit, another layer of peach. And I know probably a lot of this, guys, is not showing up for you because it is a light layer. And it's light color, too, right? So it's a lot of light coloring going on. That's hard to see on camera. But I get people wanting to see me do it, so I will. And I thank the commissioner for allowing me to draw his grandson and show him to you. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to mention any names. And when I get all four of the grandchildren done and mail them off to him, if he wants me to post them on Facebook or not, or if he wants, that's totally up to the person. I never post commission work online without permission. So you will not always see everything I do because some people don't want their family online. Even though I may not put a name, I may not put a name, but the grandfather may want them to be seen, but he may not. And that doesn't bother me either way. If the person does not want me to post it online, doesn't bother me at all. That's their choice. They're paying me to draw for them. If they don't want it online, I don't put it online. So there you go. You can start to see how we're blending in. But it's very light layers. Light layers. I'm not bearing down here, guys. It's very, very light. Lots of layers. So you can start to see how it starts to form the face, form the cheek. This side's not as formed yet. See right there? How that looks, starting to look round cheek right there? And this still has to be all done too. Okay? But I think you get the idea. All right, let me show you real quick my why I like acrylic paint on the hair and the clothes. Again, I don't put it on the face. But let me give you let me get my black paint down here. Let me see, where's my black? Oh, I was using it yesterday. I'll show you this real quick, and then we're going to stop this recording, and we'll start another one. All right, so here we go. This is just black acrylic paint, right? Now, I got to let it dry or I'll hit it with the heat gun. You got to let it dry, just like anything. You don't want to put pencil over anything wet, whether it's in your color books, your whatever. Pencil is not going to go over wet anything. It's not going to go on wet neo colors, watercolor, and I'm just talking about regular pencils. I'm not talking about watercolors pencils. I'm not talking about ink tints. Those will move with water, right? But I'm talking about just regular pencils. Don't be putting it on top of wet anything. So I'll dry that in a second, but I want to show you. Now, let me put something behind here. Let me put up a sheet behind this because I don't want to bear down and dent the next page behind it because I'm going to bear down right now. So I'm going to put down a black color pencil. Okay, so and whether you do it lightly or build it up, you could be sitting here like this for, 5 minutes, real lightly, and build it up until it gets this dark. All right, now let me hit this with a heat gun and dry that. And I've shown this over and over, but not everybody sees it every time. All right, so now here is your acrylic paint. Here's your black Prismacolor pencil, white pencil. I'm going to bear down on this, on here, on the pencil. I'm going to bear down as hard as I can. Do you see how it's smearing out? But see, you see very little white. See, this is bearing down very hard on top of black pencil. Now let me clean that off. This is why you see all this. I'm constantly cleaning my pencils. This is acrylic paint. I am going to hold it way back here and barely push. Oh, the paper's moving. Let me grab the paper. Watch. That's just a light, barely touching it. Now, if you want to just put a little pressure, if you want to put a lot of pressure, you can get that back to pure white. You see that? You can get it to pure white on top of acrylic paint. That's how I can get white highlights and light blue highlights. Now, this is not blended and not finished. I just want you to see how you can get white paint on top of, white pencil on top of black paint. You can't do that on color pencil. It's no way. I'm pushing down as hard as I can. You ain't getting nothing out of that. So, and that's why I put washes in my color books. When I do a wash over like a big area in a color book, you don't want to get too fussed. You'll be there all forever on one color book page. But an acrylic wash does the same thing. You'll be able to do color pencil. Let me get a couple of colors here. Let's get a red. Let's get here's a yellow. Let's get a blue. See how you can get you can get color pencils right on top of acrylic paint. Can't do that on pencil. Okay, so I know most of y'all have seen me show that a bunch of times, but yeah. So if you want to do washes on your color book page, I'll show you one real quick before we stop this recording. Anamorphia, because I have quite a few done with acrylic washes. Let me find the one that's partially we're working on. Like this one, for example, all the blue and the orange is an acrylic paint wash. And because it's acrylic paint, I can put pure white right on top of acrylic blue, and it shows up just as white as can be. If I had colored this whole thing with a blue pencil, there's no way that would happen. There's no way you can get that bright white like that on top of a solid color of blue, right? Let me show you. I'm going to find the one where, here, this is the one we've done on, all right, so here is just a wash, a light, and when I mean wash, I mean watered down acrylic paint. This is watered down acrylic paint, and then here's with the pencil on top. See? Same thing for right here. This is what it looks like with just the wash, and then here's with acrylic, with pencil on top. Yeah. So just so you can see what you can do with acrylic paint. And when I say acrylic paint, I use Americana craft paint. Whatever brand you use, if you want those kind of good results, it needs to be matte, not gloss, not satin, although I haven't done an experiment with every single satin paint out there. But you want matte paint. And it doesn't have to be Americana. That's just my favorite brand because of the color selection. I like the color selection in Americana. And they're only you can get them for less than $1 on sale. They have sales all the time at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I think they even sell them. I don't know if they sell them at Walmart or what, but any craft store. Okay, so there we go, guys. So that's just my little, I want to show you what the benefit of using acrylic paint wash is when using color pencils on top. So yeah, so there's my little picture in progress. I'll continue working on it later today. I'm going to finish it sometime today so I can post it for him. And then I've got the other two. I've got another one that's already started and then one that I haven't even started yet. One's finished. So I should have asked him if I could show him the finished one, but I didn't ask him. So we'll just go with this one. All right, guys, so let me save this recording and I'll be right back.